This is the third time that I've raised this issue in this parliament about having a Senate inquiry into gender dysphoria, and I've stated my reasons why. Listening to Senator Birmingham in his speech, the main reason was about the fact that they're relying on a letter that Mr Hunt, the former Health Minister, received, Greg Hunt, from the Royal Australian College of Physicians. Now, in 2019, the National Association of Practising Psychiatrists wrote to Mr Hunt in 2019 requesting an inquiry into this issue. Then on March 2020, apparently the Royal Australian College of Physicians wrote to Mr Hunt rejecting the need for a national review into gender-affirming medicine and saying that to withhold care from children and adolescents would be unethical. And that was actually the comment that Senator Birmingham said in his speech, and that is his reasons for blocking this whole inquiry. Now, we're talking about 3 years ago, more than 3 years ago. Since then, we have actually had information here. Now, I have here endocrinologists challenged the medical transition of gender-questioning children silenced by Medical College. And this was by Natasha Robinson, the health editor, and this came out in July 2023. So it's just very recent. So what they say is the Medical Affairs Committee of the nation's peak endocrinology society opposed the prescription of hormones to children and expressed deep reservations over the lack of evidence underpinning transgender affirmation medicine standards of care adopted by children's hospitals in explosive advice to a peak medical college. The Medical Affairs Committee of the Endocrine Society of Australia, a subspecialty college of the Royal Australasian College of Physicians, did not support the endorsement of gender-affirmative standards of care developed by influential doctors at the Royal Children's Hospital, Melbourne, pointing to concerns about the lack of evidence behind practices, including placing children on puberty blockers at a very young age. The views of the ESA's Medical Affairs Committee are contained in a letter to the RACP, which in late 2019 was consulting the profession at the request of then Health Minister Greg Hunt, who had requested advice on the treatment of gender dysphoria in children and adolescents. The ESA's letter reporting the position of its Medical Affairs Committee advised that, after examining RCH policy documents, the specialist endocrinologist who made up the committee did not support giving puberty blockers or cross-sex hormones to children and raised concerns that the effects of puberty blockers were reversible. Here we have from it was from the Telfer Tollett MIA, and they said that estrogen and testosterone are used to either feminise or masculinise a person's appearance by inducing the onset of secondary sexual characteristics of the desired gender. Some of the effects of these medications are irreversible. And there's evidence here, as people have saying. This is now the culminate from Radex. Booman, WP, Standard of Care for the Health of Transgender and Gender Diverse People. And they say other changes will be permanent, such as male pattern baldness, genital growth and facial hair growth in non-binary people. Then you've got other things that will happen if people put on these cross-sex hormones and puberty blockers: reduced bone density, impaired fertility and impaired sexual function and libido. It goes on to say that it also indicates potential negative impacts on brain development and possibly increased risk of hypertension, cardiovascular disease, obesity, high cholesterol and type 2 diabetes. Now, the whole fact is that there is evidence that is coming out now that this is not good for children. That we must have this inquiry. It's not legislation I'm putting up here. I'm asking for an inquiry because parents want answers. These parents are actually crying out because they've seen what the children are going through. And you're just blocking it here. People have a right to have a say. It turns my stomach when I see that you're fighting for the Indigenous to have a voice in this parliament. You want them to be heard, but you're shutting out the parents in this nation of having a say. You know, Senator McKim, I'm happy for him and Jasper. He's had what he wants to have done. That's great. But the fact is you have to look at the other parents out there who have knocked on our doors, who wanted to speak to us and say we have to have an inquiry because this is the damage it's done to my children. And we're just blocking them out because it's worked for someone else, but it doesn't work for everyone. And there's not enough evidence that says that their mental stability is really investigated before they go ahead and be given this. And cases here that I have with regards to this is, this is from mothers. Naomi, adult son, is a very unwell young man. He has suffered with functional neurological disorder, depression and anxiety, and has been under the care of a psychiatrist since 2015. He has dissociative episodes, full-body seizures, limb weakness and fatigue. Last year he went to a GP, Dr Reese Young, who, after an hour consultation and without any reference to the psychiatrist's records, prescribed her son with gender-altering medication under the informed consent model. Her son now has shrunken testicles, breasts, and has lost any possibility of ever fathering children. The mother says everyone, including medical specialists, seem to be scared to speak out for fear of being labelled a transphobic. I am just a mum fighting to keep my son alive. And that is a problem, that if people disagree with you, you've got a name call all the time. Use the word transphobic. It's got nothing to do with it. Well, I won't be shut down, and either with these other mothers, because I'll keep raising this until we get common sense in this place. There is another one here. Jude's daughter, aged 17 at the time, came out as transgender in October 2018 after 3 years of poor mental health, including diagnosis of anxiety, depression and bipolar. This was completely out of the blue. She had never shown any masculine tendencies in her life. The week she declared she was transgender, she claimed she was suicidal and ended up in the adolescent medical health ward of the local hospital, John Hunter Hospital in Newcastle, New South Wales. Hospital staff immediately affirmed her transgender identity upon her admission without question. The hospital staff then said they were referring her to the hospital paediatric endocrinologist, Dr Prudence Lopez, for testosterone. She was 17, Jude says. We told them we did not agree to the referral and that we were going back to a private general practitioner and psychiatrist. Her daughter spent 5 nights in hospital and then was discharged. Her daughter then turned 18 a month after the hospital admission, and the endocrinologist put her on testosterone at the second appointment in March 2019. She has pretty much spent 2 years in bed, dropped out of the school, does not work and does not study. In October 2020, we found that she was seeing a plastic surgeon in Newcastle to have her breast cut off. She has since been diagnosed with complete PTSD from childhood bullying and autism spectrum, as well as ADHD. There's more stories here I can tell you about, and it's constant all the time. But all you've got to worry about, and all I'm hearing here, is that, and as Senator Birmingham said, oh, well, we don't want to upset these people by having an inquiry. And we actually should have, we don't want the media in here and listening to these stories, what people might say. Well, then I move the amendment, which was supported by this chamber. The fact is that it can be in camera. So we don't have to upset these people. That it can be in camera. The privacy of the lot. So why don't we give the people of this nation an opportunity? You know, I know the Libs have got a conscience vote, but the Labor, no. You did buy it, but I'll appeal to those people on the other side. We are actually talking about the children of this nation. Parents that just want a voice to be heard to tell you their stories, what is happening, so common sense can prevail. This all started in 2013 when it was passed for the Sexual Discrimination Act. And under that Act, you can't discriminate against anyone on their gender or anything like that. That's where this is all coming from. So everyone's frightened, doctors, psychiatrists and everyone are frightened of discrimination, so you shut down. And doctors like Gillian Spencer, who actually was under threat of losing her job because she knows the problems here, but she's been shut down from having a say. Do you reckon we're doing the right thing by our people, by the children? And a lot of these children, if you look at it, they do have autism, they are being bullied in school, and a lot of these kids are lost because they don't have their parents at home to guide them as well. So these kids are actually facing, suicidal, or they want attention from their peers. And this has been put in their heads by idiots out there that are saying, oh, well, you've got a problem. These kids may not have a problem that really don't understand. Maybe they are attracted to their own sex. But the fact is, doesn't mean to say that we need to allow them to mutilate their bodies at such a young age. If they are, inclined to be gay, let them grow till 18 till they find out, go through the puberty, understand who they are as a person, without allowing them through just screaming out for attention from their parents, from their teachers, from their peers, from whoever, and allowing them to get onto these sex hormones and these other changes that will ruin them for the rest of their life, and those kids that are left in beds, dormant, absolutely destroyed. These puberty blockers and that can never change. These sex hormone treatments can never change them. And then they regret. To have mothers in my office, crying, absolutely at a loss, because they've lost their children. And when they go to see that medical care and attention, they've lost their rights because, as soon as the child says they're suicidal, then you're taken out of the care of your parents and they will actually start giving them these bloody drugs when they don't even ask the mental assessment of them. They're not assessed. They don't understand the background as parents do, but you're shutting the door on these parents to have their say. They deserve more than that. And I'm pleading with this chamber, please, just think what you are going to do. These people need help. They need let's hear what they have to say. What are you so afraid of? Why aren't you prepared to listen to what evidence may be put before us? Why aren't you prepared to listen to it? Why are you just shutting it out? What is your problem? Because you might be called transphobic? Is that really the bottom line? Because that's all I can see. And I'm calling on Senator Birmingham. I put to you, it is going to be in camera. You have no reason to deny this being a hearing into this. No reason whatsoever. So I'm asking you on behalf of the parents and the children of this nation, allow this inquiry to go ahead. And I'm appealing to the Labor Party as well. Give these kids a chance. Let them be heard. Let their parents be heard. Then make your minds up and make the decision. That's our job. This is the third time, and I'll tell you something. You want to vote this down? I will not let it go. Yeah. I will keep going and going and going. And as more evidence comes out that you've turned a blind eye to, as more evidence comes out that proves that these puberty blockers and sex hormones are actually changing and destroying these children, I will not let it go. And I will keep fighting for them.